family.
What's up, everybody? This is Sean.
This is Alan.
And this is Inside the Square, the wrestling podcast, coming at you almost every weekend from sunny St. Mary's, California, Maryland. What's good, Big Daddy?
The next pay-per-view, man. It might be Clash of the Castles or Backlash.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. Clash of Castles, Backlash, SummerSlam is coming up.
And Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin. It's a lot of different pay-per-views, guys. And even Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, man. But we're going to start from the top. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 40. What an awesome two-night event that was.
I think it was better than last WrestleMania.
I think it was the best WrestleMania I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be, use hyperbole or recent stuff. I was generally impressed by every match I saw. And I watched just by every match.
Yeah.
Somebody quit on me the last night, but I really sat down and watched every match, and it was magic, man.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And it was outside. It was in Philly. The weather held up. It was just awesome, man.
No interference.
No interference for any of the matches except for the last one, which was to be expected because it was a Judgment Rules match.
Yeah.
Not Judgment Day rules, but Bloodline Rules match.
Bloodline Rules, yeah.
Yeah, and The Rock really impressed me, man. At first I was not on board with him becoming, heel Rock, Hollywood Rock.
And it worked.
But it works, bro.
So good.
He is the most unlikable MFer I've ever seen on a mic.
I want to see him go against Cody Rhodes next year.
I think he might go against him this year. It's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We're putting carts before horses. So we want to welcome and congrats to our new champs, Cody Rhodes. What do you rate his match with the Tribal Chief?
9.9.
It was
perfect.
It was really good.
Almost perfect.
It was really good, man. I was kind of stunned at how good it was.
Yeah.
Cody had his WrestleMania moment.
I think it was better than their last match last year.
He had his moment too.
Yeah.
Cody had a moment, bruh, and I'm telling you, it's a fan, and I always say this, and I'm not ashamed to say it. His dad was my favorite. His dad and Bullet Bob Armstrong were my two favorite wrestlers ever. And Dusty was like, he kind of exemplified a lot of stuff you can get through just hard work and charisma.
Yeah.
Because like he always said, I don't look the part. I don't have to. I don't look like Ric Flair. I look like me, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
He always say son of a plumber. The dude was tough, rugged. He was an NWA heavyweight champion. Really good wrestler too. But it's just seeing his son win it did something for me, man. It was very cathartic, and it was, I almost became emotional because I was like, oh my god, he finally won it.
Finally.
And they're giving this guy all kind of crazy gimmicks like they did his dad, his Stardust, and
that didn't work.
It was just, but he really, he put himself in the role.
He did.
In the gimmick. And it was like it was his gimmick. And that's why I always appreciated his work ethic and how true to himself he had. He was, rather. So when he won it, I was ecstatic, man.
He deserved to win it.
He deserved to win it. He really worked that whole angle.
The match was really good.
It was very physical.
Super physical.
Very physical.
And the bloodline keep interfering. Cody keeps kicking out.
Yeah, and then they had a lot of guest people like The Undertaker, which was really cool. John Cena.
Yes. In Shield, Seth Rollins. He got Superman punch.
That was wild. And that was the reason it cost Roman the match, too, because he could have hit Cody with the steel chair.
He hit Seth with the steel chair.
Because Seth had done him dirty. I still never forget that.
Like 10 years ago.
Bruh, I will never forget that.
That was so good.
I was like, because when he hit him with the chair, I was like, oh my God, when he had the chair, I was like, he's about to turn heel.
And he did.
And he did. And I never really recovered from that. And I think Roman, the way that's some good long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
Very fun match, though.
Really good match.
Now, what do you think about the Bayley match?
I thought it was really good.
I was not sold on it in the beginning, but as I watched it, as it kept going on a little bit longer, it's almost a 30-minute match.
Yeah.
Very entertaining. Huge bumps. Huge bumps, man.
Awesome.
It was really pleasing to see.
I'm glad Bayley had her WrestleMania moment.
Me too, man. Me too.
She's getting some really good challengers lately.
I like it because it was like, and shout out to Triple H, man. The dude was smart. He didn't have anybody have interference in any of the matches.
Nope.
Except for the last one.
And that's it.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I think the Rollins match was, it was not really interference by CM Punk, but it was like some storytelling had to go on.
Yes. And Drew McIntyre getting screwed.
Yeah, screw job. But it was pretty interesting
all
to see.
Because of CM Punk. He's always running his mouth.
I like that, though. It was interesting.
I knew Damien Priest was going to cash in. I saw it coming.
I told you this weeks ago. I said, watch this.
And it happened. I'm happy for Damien Priest.
I'm happy for him, too. Shout out to Damien Priest, new world champion. Really pleased with his long-term storytelling coming from from the indie circuit to NXT to the main roster. In just a few short years, he's heavyweight champion.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. And he really worked his way.
Yeah, he did.
He worked his way up.
Do you think Judgment Day is going to break up?
I don't know, man, because Rhea Ripley she retained her belt.
Yeah, that was a smart idea.
She retained her belt, and Priest got his belt, and R-Truth got his belt.
Why is R-Truth so funny?
He's awesome, man. Also, shout out to R-Truth. About time for him to have a WrestleMania moment.
Finally.
He deserved it, man.
Yeah, he did.
The Awesome Truth are the World Tag Team Champions.
Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, but they're awesome, man. They're awesome.
Like, R-Truth is so funny with Damien Priest.
I like him, man. I really do. I think the Awesome Truth was a good tag team back in the day. And I think it'll be a good...
Awesome gimmick.
Yeah, awesome gimmick.
Yeah.
I just think, got two fan favorites because I like Miz.
Miz is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Miz is underappreciated.
Like, what? They always hate him a lot.
The dude only comes and he wrestles every week.
They got to stop hating on the Miz. Like, it's just like he's doing his job.
He wrestles anybody to put in front of him.
Yes.
And he does very good storytelling within the ring.
So good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sami Zayn. What a crazy ass match that was with him.
It was almost perfect.
That was a hard hitting physical match.
It could have been Chad Gable versus Gunther.
And I noticed when Gunther loses, it has to follow a very specific blueprint.
Yeah.
Whoever wins has to beat the living hell out of him to beat him.
Like Dragunov.
Dragunov and him had two of probably the most physical matches I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Between guys who were like different sizes. But in the end, Sami Zayn just out physicaled him. Put him in a Blue Thunder bomb on the damn turnbuckle. Then put him in another Blue Thunder bomb after he hit him on the turnbuckle.
It was a haluva kick.
That was at the very end, though, I think.
Yeah.
But it was just a physical, blue and black match.
It was really good.
But shout out to Gunther, 666 days as Intercontinental Champion. What you rate his title run, Alan?
S tier.
S tier. I agree with you. The dude had an incredible run. And I think
he defended it 91 times or 92 times.
I mean, we seen him wrestle live, and he was incredible.
Awesome.
Dude was incredible in the ring because as big as he is, just like I always say about Damien Priest, as big as he is, he moves like a cat.
He does. I think I see him in the main event scene sooner or later.
I think he might be one of Cody's challengers at some point.
Yeah.
Because he's just that good. He puts on a physical style match.
With no interference.
No interference.
Nope.
Very interesting to watch him wrestle. Shifting gears a little bit, shout out to John Moxley. He is now the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
I think that's a smart decision.
I think that's a smart decision too.
Mm-hmm.
He's not AEW champion, but IWGP, they have a huge fan base.
Yeah,
huge fan base all over the world, especially Japan. They have a lot of wrestling fans, and he is the dude. He's Mr. Indie right now. It was Kenny Omega, now it's John.
Like better than Matt Cardona.
I think John Moxley is better known than Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
And the reason I say he's better known because he was in WWE for a long time.
Really long time, actually.
And he was one of the top stars. And he was a World Heavyweight Champion.
He was.
You don't get to be World Heavyweight Champion if they do not trust you and if you're not popular. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Got to be marketable. You got to look the part. And you got to go out and do one thing. You got to go wrestle.
Wrestle every week.
Not necessarily every week, but you got to put on memorable matches. Yep. And that guy puts on memorable matches.
Yeah.
The matches he had with Kenny Omega.
Ospreay.
I'm telling you, Moxley is special, man.
He's awesome.
He went a different route. He didn't like WWE, how they were doing his character, and he left. And
I think it was a smart decision.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
He's been AEW Heavyweight Champion a few times. He's been IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's been He's held other belts throughout. And he wrestles anywhere. He'll just turn up and wrestle. Like they showed him wrestling in like a backyard wrestling league. I'm like, this dude, hey, let's bleed a little bit. And he's out here wrestling for probably 200 people.
That's awesome.
That's awesome to me, man. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes as WWE fans, AEW fans, we think everything has to be pretty in a box and it has to look a certain way. And I like the indie leagues that say, you know what, it can look a certain way, but we're going to do it this way. That's why I like watching some of the indie league stuff, man. Mm-hmm. When I say indie leagues, I mean like the smaller brands, the MCWs, the VCWs, the Georgia Championship Wrestlings, and these little different mom and pop companies that pop up and have a couple wrestlers and say, hey, let's go to this high school gym. To me, that's special, man. That's how, not growing up in a large city. I grew up in a small rural town in Alabama. Watching Continental Championship Wrestling. Boulevard Armstrong. It had freaking people that you come to see later, like Kevin Sullivan, like Austin Idol, Adrian Street. All those people started in those small brands, man.
They did.
They did. And seeing them, and then, seeing how they tell the story. These guys not getting paid much.
No.
They're just out here doing it. They work regular jobs. So you watching them wrestle, and it's just like they're doing it because they love it. They love their job. They love doing it. And to me, that's a different kind of special. And I think Moxley kind of captures that specialness. That,
like the it factor.
Yes, he's a really good talker, and he's not afraid to go get bladed, get cut.
Nope.
You're not afraid of that.
No, he ain't.
He relishes in it. To him, that's like a badge of honor. Real quick shout out to the Briscoe. What's his name? Mark Briscoe?
Yeah.
He is Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion.
He had a really good match with Eddie Kingston.
I think he got a really good match with Eddie Kingston too. I've been a critic of Eddie Kingston before. But
I think it was one of his best matches.
Yeah. And I think I'm a critic of him because I haven't watched enough of his matches. Because I've seen him put on good ones and I've seen him put on some low energy ones.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, he was wrestling every week.
Every week, yeah.
So, the stamina and the preparation to wrestle every week is probably tremendous, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've talked to some guys who wrestle pro before, and that's a grind, man. Going to these different cities, traveling, doing your own travel, just doing stuff is very tedious and wears on you. And not only that, but, you got to go out in the ring and perform, tell a story.
Yeah.
So I think my criticality of Eddie Kingston may have been premature. So, for that, I apologize.
Yeah.
Because he, like you point out all the time, he wrestles every week.
Every week.
And who the hell am I to talk smack at this man?
Like, he was a pretty good champion, in my opinion.
Yeah, I look back on it, and I agree with you. I think he was a decent champion, and
he was a transitional champion.
And like we always said about Trevor Murdoch, he's a dude who always wanted to be Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
You know, like we say, Trevor Murdoch always wanted to be NWA heavyweight champion. He always wanted to have the 10 pounds of gold around his waist. Eddie Kingston is like that with Ring of Honor. Yeah. He's a guy who had been in Ring of Honor before.
Yeah.
And he's a popular dude. And the dude wrestles anybody, anywhere. So
he goes to New Japan Pro.
Yeah, he's a workhorse. He's a workhorse.
He had that belt for a long time now.
I think he should have had it for a long time. I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
I think he deserved it. And like Mark Briscoe, you know, now as champion, I like Mark Briscoe, man. I think he's like one of those guys who's been in Ring of Honor so long.
He was going to win it last year, but he got hurt.
He was supposed to wrestle him in November, I think. November, October.
Yeah, he was supposed to win that belt.
And that guy's been through a lot, man. He lost his brother. Could you imagine that? I couldn't imagine that. You know, losing his brother like that, and then having to go right back on the road and wrestle. That's a lot, man.
That's tough.
That's tough, man. It's interesting, though. Like I said, that Tony Khan trusts Mark Briscoe that much to be the champion. That says a lot about him.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the dudes, him and his brother and him, he and his brother could have left and went for greener pastures a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like Moose in TNA. He stayed there because he loved TNA.
He's a TNA person.
Josh Alexander, him, they stayed there.
Yeah. And they want to leave.
And they didn't want to leave. So it's like when you're comfortable somewhere and they treat you right, you stay.
Yeah.
You know, like my mama say, you dance with who brung you. If the ugly girl brought you to the dance, you dance with her anyway because she brought you.
Yeah.
You know, just like if a pretty girl brought you to the dance, you dance with them. But, you know, I digress. Moving on. It was an interesting set of matches between Will Ospreay and Powerhouse Hobbs. What do you think about those, Alan? Did you get a chance to see them?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was competitive.
I thought it was very competitive. I was kind of surprised Hobbs had so many moves in the toolbox.
Yeah.
Because I'd never really seen him wrestle a really technical-oriented match against someone who had as many moves as Ospreay. Ospreay has a ton of moves.
You know who knows Will Ospreay?
Who?
Kyle Fletcher does.
Yes.
He's been knowing him for years.
Fletcher's a pretty good wrestler, too.
Yeah.
Fletcher's a really good wrestler.
Now.
Yeah, really good wrestler. Ospreay had some choice words about Triple H. What do you think about that? Did you hear him?
The dagger.
Did you hear him talk about him sleeping with the boss's daughter?
Yeah.
That was kind of personal.
Bruh.
I don't know how much of it was Tony Khan trying to put a dig in at WWE, but I don't think that was called for.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That wasn't called for. To me, it wasn't. You know, Tony Khan, a billionaire, he look at stuff differently. He's very petty.
Yeah, he is.
He's extremely petty. He had played the video from CM Punk and Jack Perry, the altercation they had backstage.
I saw that.
It didn't. I know he was trying to embarrass CM Punk, but to me, it didn't embarrass him.
No, it didn't.
And I think Tony Khan overplayed his hand, and he kind of tried to overexpose CM Punk, and CM Punk was just...
He took it too far.
He might have took it too far, but I don't think he was 100% wrong in this.
No, he wasn't.
And Samoa Joe came out looking the best because he separated. He broke it up.
Yeah, he did.
Joe was Joe. You know, like everybody says, Joe is a really good guy. I've never heard another wrestler say anything negative about Samoa Joe.
No.
Ever.
Never.
And I listened to some of these interviews and some of these podcasts, and everyone still kind of likes Samoa Joe. The only one I ever heard say something crazy about him was Scott Steiner. And Scott Steiner's off his effing meds.
Yeah.
Joe has wrestled everywhere, and he's been champ everywhere.
Everywhere he's
ever been at.
Yeah.
From NXT to freaking
Ring of Honor
to WWE, he's held a belt.
Yeah.
Or he's been in the title match.
And AEW.
And he's held world titles in 3 different companies.
Yeah.
And he's the man right now.
And his big match is going to be with Swerve Strickland. That is rough.
That's rough, bro.
That is so rough.
But I hope Swerve gets the putt. Even if he doesn't win the belt, I hope people kind of open their eyes to who he is.
Yeah.
Because you and I have been watching him for years, and we always say the same thing.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. He needs to hold a belt.
Yes.
I really like Swerve, man.
Swerve Strickland is so good.
And I realize from last year how much Tony Khan liked him when he came out. You might not know this, but Tony Khan's dad owns the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
He owns a football team and 2 soccer teams.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he owns them. And he let Swerve come out to his theme music at a Jaguars game.
I thought that's awesome.
I think that was like... That's a crazy PR move.
Yeah, it is.
Let your billionaire dad... Let your wrestler come out to, at a professional football team to his theme music.
It worked.
It worked, too. Because guess what? Swerve is awesome.
He's too over.
That dude goes and wrestles
every single week.
Every week, and he puts on bangers.
Yes.
So, shout out to Swerve Strickland. Man, I hope he win that damn belt. I hope he wins that damn belt.
Other plans for him.
We'll see. We'll see, bro. Bronn Breakker switching back to WWE NXT. Breakker is probably gone from NXT. He's gone from NXT. He wrestled his final match. Yeah. They lost the NXT tag team titles. What do you think? How do you think his next move is going to be in the big brands?
Going against Logan Paul and destroying him.
I think he might destroy him too.
Yeah.
Breakker is a really special dude. He's a dude that I think should be world champion one day, probably in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a couple of years, maybe a year or 2 away. But he should be in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
He has that kind of talent.
He could have beaten Seth Rollins last year.
He had him beat.
He did.
He had him beat, bro.
He did.
And it's hard to out-physical him because if you look at the Royal Rumble...
He was really good.
He was very dominant, man.
Yeah, he was.
Very dominant. Good-looking wrestler. Really good promos. He has a tendency to do the screaming thing like Scott Steiner does.
He puts on kind of hilarious, really good matches.
Yeah, but he's a really good talker.
Yeah, he is.
So I think
he helped Baron Corbin.
You know what? And I was a dude that was not a Baron Corbin fan, but when I saw them wrestle together, I realized, like, man, Corbin is a really good tag team guy.
Yeah, he is.
And I was just like, what the hell? Was he always this good?
Like, he used to do jiu-jitsu or something.
Oh, he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a good wrestler. And he took it a step further with the Bronn Breakker thing, the Wolf Dogs. I thought that was a stupid gimmick.
It worked.
It worked. He took it and worked it.
Yeah.
Speaking of another guy that might be on the move, Dragunov. I think he's gone. I think he's going to lose that belt to Trick Williams. Mark my words.
Like, what if
at
they
333.
What if they have other plans?
I think he's going to lose that belt to Trick Williams. Trick is going to have a run.
Like, what if Carmelo Hayes causes Trick the match?
I don't know. I wouldn't move Trick up so quick to the main roster.
He would be too over.
He's over now.
Yeah.
When they did the stand and deliver.
Yeah.
There's a reason his match and Carmelo Hayes
was so good.
Was at the main event.
Yeah.
Not the champions match.
Nope.
Shout out to Tony D'Angelo for giving Dragunov one hell of a good match.
Awesome.
And it was kind of weird because, he didn't let his guys interfere with the match at all.
Stacks wanted to interfere.
He wanted to, but he's like, nope, I'm going to do this on my own. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a Tony D'Angelo fan.
Yeah.
That guy can wrestle, man.
You used to not like him.
I did. And I guess once I've watched a few matches with him now, the dude can do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
He's good. I think if he does lose the belt, if he doesn't lose it to Trick, he needs to lose it to Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Because that dude can go. And he has the crowd, too.
Yeah, he does.
He has the FBI thing. When I say FBI, I mean full-blooded Italians. It was an older group.
Such a great gimmick.
Back in the day with ECW and later on WWE. Really special group of individuals.
Like Nunzio.
Yeah. Chuck Palumbo.
They were good.
Really good, man.
Really good.
And that's what he kind of reminds me of because he has the whole gimmick Godfather thing going on. I'm like, that's kind of stereotypical, but very funny.
Yeah.
And he doesn't take himself too seriously, too. And he wrestles hurt.
Do you think Stacks is going to turn on Tony D'Angelo?
Yes, I really believe he's going to turn on Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't want him to because I like the tag team.
Yeah, but a group doesn't last forever.
That's true, man. And that's a sad part about, unless the bloodline, when I say bloodline, I mean like the Usos or like freaking New Day. Those dudes been together forever.
Yeah.
But at some point, yeah, you're right. They don't last forever. And it's going to be a sad day when they do break up.
Like Solo Sikoa turning on Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
They've signed also, not breaking news right now, but they signed Jacob Fatu. He's going to be part of Well, I think he's going to be part of Bloodline, but they've signed him. They've signed Tama Tonga. He is going to be tough to beat. For those who don't know, he's Haku's son.
Yeah.
Haku or Ming, however you want to say it.
When Roman Reigns comes back, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Switching gears a little bit, who you got against Alex Hammerschmidt and Josh Alexander? I think it's going to be a good match.
Hammerstone.
Man. Oh, I thought it was Hammerschmidt. See, that's why I got you here, Alex. You correct your old man.
I think Hammerstone's going to win the match again.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I like Josh Alexander. I do.
Hammerstone put the beat down on damn
Tommy
Dreamer. I was like, oh,
Hammerstone don't play no games.
He's a good looking wrestler, man.
Yeah, he just needs mic skills. That's it.
Yeah, he's not good at mic, but he's a good looking wrestler. He has moves.
Yeah, he does. Like if he taps out Josh Alexander, I won't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. It's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of professional wrestling.
They really want to get out of TNA. I already know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. You got any last words?
Shout out to Roman Reigns for being a pretty good champion. I know I had a lot of criticism on him, but he was really good.
I'm going to piggyback on what Alan said. Shout out to Roman Reigns. That dude gave us 4 of the best years of his life.
Almost 4 years.
Incredible runs.
Almost 4 years.
Incredible runs, man.
That was a long time.
Long time. I mean, it's people who started high school 4 years ago.
That was me.
And he was champion then, and he was champion up until almost they graduated.
Yeah.
So that's the only champ they ever knew. So it's interesting to see that. And now everybody's trying to give him his flowers. I told you a long time ago, hey, we don't know what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, he could win that title back someday.
Yeah, but like I said, we don't know what we were looking at. We didn't appreciate how great he was then.
Yeah.
Just like I always said about LeBron James. People say, oh, I hate him. He's this, he's that. He crybaby. Okay, this dude is 39 years old, and he's still averaging all these points, all these rebounds, all these assists. Going to be in the Hall of Fame, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you're looking at. You can't appreciate it because it's right now. It's recency bias. Oh, he's not good as this and that. This guy's played this level his entire career. But we don't get a chance to really appreciate him because we're so busy critiquing him.
Yeah.
And I think that was the same way with Roman Reigns. The dude is so great. He's held the company together through all these scandals, through all these firings, through all this Vince madness.
Yeah.
And he's remained the constant. And I think he left the company in a good place with Cody.
Yeah, because he trusts Cody with that belt.
I think a lot of people trust Cody with the belt. Cody is like the safest dude you can think of. And from all accounts, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out there with his wife.
Roman Reigns, got a gift from Cody, like a Rolex watch.
I saw that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting, man. I've always liked Cody. And like I said, I'm just really happy that he is the champ. So with that, I'll bid you guys adieu. Thank you, and have a great week.
Bye.